So Yetta, why would you use a real estate agent?
Well, I'm thinking I don't know the answer to that question today, but I sure am excited you're here on the Inside Track where we're learning about really how to grow together and how to make teamwork.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
So I do know the answer.
Well, actually, I kind of tricked you because I said, why would you use a real estate agent? And really what we're talking about today is the difference between a team,
right?
The Dekker Team. What advantage does it have of having the whole team on your side,
right,
as opposed to an individual agent?
Right. So now that's a great question. It really is.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And it's because when you have a team, you have expertise. Individual expertise that then becomes collective expertise.
Explain more about that.
Well, when you have one individual, so I know a whole lot about certain elements of construction.
Okay.
And yet you've been a new home warranty builder. And so you've had the hands-on of touching and building because you've actually physically built houses where I just look at you do the work. And so there's a level of expertise that if it's somebody that's buying or wanting to build a custom brand new home and they're worried about septic levels in relation to the house, we've gotten a pretty expensive education about what not to do decades ago. And yet we did. Well, I know that story and I know what we're looking out for, and yet I wouldn't know what it looked like. So I would call you and say, hey, I know they're going to still have a septic inspector, but there's just so many things that without even putting any effort into it, you have expertise in. And likewise me. So when you're dealing with a team, we know, depending on what the client's needs are and what they're looking for, we know when to send who and why.
Okay. So what kind of specialists do we have on the team? It's kind of like if you went to the hospital and you were going to have surgery.
Right.
You probably don't want your doctor who's doing the surgery doing the anesthesiologist's job and doing the nurse's job and prepping the hospital room and then taking care of you after you get out in the post-op, right?
Right.
Each person has their specialty and that they're specifically trained for and very good at.
And focused on, right? So I think even about, in terms of the Dekker team, we have a support person behind the scenes, right? Which is fantastic. Because if we're in the middle of an offer negotiation, which we are so frequently, just the other day, I was given an offer with a very tight irrevocable, 3 hours. That's pretty tight.
So irrevocable, if you're not familiar with that word, means that's the time frame that we have to accept it or reject it or counter it.
Right. And I had asked for 24 hours, and I had asked for no offers till the following week. So I wasn't budgeting it. I didn't know it was coming. There was no phone call with a fair warning. It just showed up.
No phone call? No fair warning? No shot over the bow? Nothing?
Nothing.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing. And yet, given this particular client's situation, it was something we really needed to consider. And so I was able to expedite it, even though I was downtown bringing a $750,000 high-rise condo to market and getting that all organized at the very same time as this offer came in. And then I was stuck 90 minutes to get from downtown to where I was going, which is unusual, but terrible traffic. And it wasn't a problem because somebody was taking care of the details.
Yeah.
Who was focused on it.
Yeah. And sometimes she might even be your first point of contact. And that's Janice. Janice is in the office as our administrator, making sure that the little details, little emails that have to go out or something of that nature, that she's there to do it and we can talk to her by phone, give instructions and make sure that everything works great.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the specialist when it comes to, like I was mentioning earlier, someone that really understands construction. And I would say we all have a good grasp on that. And yet certain aspects of it, I would rather have you, Ryan, or Sasha go. Mind you, Candace is pretty awesome at that stuff too. And then there's the investment market, doing the numbers and the calculations and the rentals. Now, I like it when you get into all the paperwork.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Because they're very detail-oriented aspects. And if you get one thing wrong, you're in trouble. You cause your client grief. So even knowing the personality temperaments and who's going to do the work how creates a level of expertise.
Right. Right. And then there's general, first-time buyer or second-time buyer or move-up buyer to sell. It all depends on who's going to really be able to serve that client the best. Sometimes it's which team member lives closer as well, so they can go there more frequently to show it and do different things. We have someone that comes out that's on our team that just takes all the photographs, and they're a professional photographer, but they're on our team, air quotes, if you're listening on the radio, those are air quotes. They're on our team on a contract as needed basis. So we're getting expertise that is better than having a full-time employee, because that's all they do is photography, but we don't need them 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So that person's on our team as well.
Right. And then a runner, having somebody that can get out there and get those things done that need to be done now that maybe don't require a high level of real estate knowledge.
Right, like put the sign up, put a lockbox on, or take it down, or that kind of thing.
And so, Ken, what is your biggest words of wisdom around if you're not working with a team or you're thinking team doesn't really matter too much?
Yeah, I think team is super important, first of all. If you're using, if you have a, someone that you want to use in real estate that's a single agent, we all started there.
We all did.
Yep.
I did. It was 28 years ago now, that part.
Yeah.
Is that not wild?
How many years ago?
Well, it was 30 years ago I started.
Yeah.
And I've had somebody work with me on the team, 28, I guess 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't stay very long as a solo.
29 years.
Yeah.
So that's not that there aren't great single agents.
You're
there
right.
are. And what I would recommend is you make sure if you're talking with a single agent that they have a great team behind them that they can pull their resources from. That they have someone that covers very effectively when they go on vacation, or they have an off day, or they have to sick day, or they go to their kids' thing. Because that's one of the things with having a team of 4 or 5 people is if 1 or 2 are off or they're busy, like in this super fast market, if a property comes up for sale, like I can think of one we sold in the Canada area just a few weeks back, and Candace was working with this particular buying couple, and a property came on, and Candace was tied up at another part of the city, and they needed to see it right away. She called me. I was available. I booked a showing. I went and saw it. We went and saw it within an hour or two of it coming on the market. They ended up buying that property, and part of it is the ability to meet the client's need of seeing something in this hot market.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've created over 367 episodes. Do you believe that, Ken?
I do. I've been in a fair number of them.
Yes, he's been in quite a few of them. And really the point of them is to give you the ability to get access to the information you want and that you really deserve, that is most of the time pretty subjective or objective, I think is the right word. Not too subjective, although you never know, that slides in there from time to time. However, it is based on, as we figured out, over 80 years worth of real estate expertise, so hoping that brings some value to you. So we're excited that we could bring that again and again and again.
And my recommendation, pick a team with the experience to get things done for you for the price of a single agent.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.